Zoe Holland. I write a family travel blog at jugglingonrollerskates.com. The blog follows the adventures of myself and my family as we explore and embrace the great British outdoors. I'm thrilled to be here today at the National Outdoor and Active Festival, where I'm going to be speaking to you about my top 10 tips for successful family camping. Let's get started. So tip number 1. You need to invest in a tent that's going to grow with you as your family does. You'll need to do your homework and really think about what you want from your tent. You'll need to think about the material that you want your tent to be made from. Man-made materials like nylon and polyester are lighter, more practical and generally cheaper. They're also easier to store because they pack up smaller. However, they can be poorly insulated, so they might get cold at night and condensation can build up. And then you've got your traditional tent fabrics like cotton and canvas, which are really durable, warmer at night, although they're often more expensive and more bulky to store. It's really worth investing in a tent that's got a porch area for the rainy days and for storage and communal spaces such as eating and playing. It's really worth going to the big camping stores like Go Outdoors, or if you have a camping event nearby, going to check out the tents firsthand, feel the materials, stand inside them, see how they're going to work for your family. Once you've done that, you can go home and browse the internet and try and find the cheapest deals online. And if you're really looking for a bargain, it's worth buying out of season or looking for second-hand bargains. Tip 2, choose your campsite really carefully. Again, I know it sounds like hard work, but you need to do your research. Speak to your friends, speak to Facebook groups, find out which campsites in the area that you're hoping to travel to are the most successful and positive for families. Choosing the right campsite can make all the difference to a successful family camping trip. There's some brilliant family-friendly campsites where children are encouraged to engage with the outdoors and play wild. And if you're not sure where to look for recommendations, you can always visit jugglingonrollerskates.com for our own tried and tested family recommendations. So tip number 3 is plan your packing. Make a checklist and stick to it. At the very least, you'll need a tent, a ground mat and some sleeping bags. There's a lot of pressure to spend a fortune on kit on your first camping excursion, but in my opinion, it's better to build it up over time and figure out what you need. Once you've invested in your kit, store it carefully, label it, keep it in boxes, get it ready for each and every camping trip. Finally, as you build up your kit, make a checklist. Keep it on the fridge or somewhere you're not going to lose it, and check it off each and every time you go camping. So tip 4 is invest in some decent bedding. We all know how important it is to get a good night's sleep when you're away with your family, so investing in a good night's sleep is crucial. When it comes to bedding, there's a few choices, each with their own pros and cons. Camp beds are raised off the ground so they're a bit warmer, plus the underneath space allows for great storage. Air beds are incredibly comfortable, but they take time to inflate and you always run the risk of them deflating on you in the middle of the night. There's also a huge range of self-inflating ground mats, which are really quick and easy to use. You'll need to make sure you're buying the right type of sleeping bag for the time of year that you're going camping. Here in the UK, a season 2 bag should cover you for camping from late spring through to early autumn. There's also some great brands out there like Bundle Beds who've created some practical fun ranges of sleeping bags perfect for kids. For tip number 5, let's talk about lighting. Once the sun goes down, you'll need a torch for everything you do, whether it's a late night toilet visit or opening that cheeky bottle of wine. So it's worth investing in a head torch for each and every member of the family. You'll want to pack another 2 or 3 lanterns in addition to the head torches for communal areas both inside and outside of the tent. You'll also have to consider how you're going to charge your lighting. There's a whole range of ways to charge your lights these days, from batteries to USB ports, solar panels and wind-ups. And I always take a bag of glow sticks for the kids to run around the campsite with late at night, make friends and have a good time. Tip number 6 is plan your meals and keep them simple. Don't pack too much food. It's so easy to get carried away, but you must remember that once you're at the site, you have to store all the food that you've brought with you. Communal fridges often get filled really quickly, and then you're struggling to think where to keep your food and keep it fresh. I would recommend packing enough food for the first 2 days and then restocking. It will give you the opportunity to explore local food produce and local farm shops. A lot of campsites now also do pop-up food nights with local pizzerias and other eateries arriving at the campsite and serving fresh food straight to the guests. We also make sure that we plan a couple of meals that the children can help us prepare. Things like jacket potatoes and corn on the cob are really easy to do, and we have s'mores on the go pretty much every night. So tip number 7, get organised and be prepared for all your late night bathroom visits. Make sure each family member has their own wash bag with everything they need to be self-sufficient every time they need to go to the bathroom. During these times of COVID, I would also pack a hand sanitizer and pack of baby wipes in everyone's wash bags. This allows them the responsibility of maintaining their own personal hygiene whilst they're around the camp. Prepare yourself for the late night and early morning walk to the toilet block by making sure you pack some quick and easy clothing and footwear that won't take too much stress and fuss. Make sure as well that you've got a toilet roll in each of your toilet packs. So my 8th tip is to pack for every kind of weather for every member of the family. If you don't have decent waterproofs already, invest in some, especially for younger members of the family who will quite happily play outdoors for most of the day as long as they're kept warm and dry. Embrace your feral side. Don't worry too much about wearing clean clothes every day. Let the rules go a little bit with it for the children. If they want to wear the same trousers or same t-shirt for 3 days in a row, this is the one time of the year that's okay. The whole family will be spending much more time outdoors than you're used to, so even on a cloudy day, make sure you're wearing sun cream and protection. For tip number 9, I want to encourage you to focus on the importance of play. Put aside an hour a day to spend quality time together as a family and embrace your inner child. Try to pack a number of games that will entertain the whole family, like frisbee, cricket, Uno and card games. Put time aside for a family walk together at the end of every day. As tempting as it might be, try to limit screen time whilst you're away camping. Make the most of where you are and the facilities right outside your tent. Most importantly, this is your opportunity to show your family that you are still young at heart. Grab that rope swing with 2 hands and swing to your best Tarzan impression. These are memories that will stay with your children forever. So for my 10th and final tip, I actually want you to consider glamping as a practical and stress-free alternative to camping. I know some hardcore campers see glamping as a bit of a cheats option, but sometimes we all want an easy life, especially when we've got toddlers in tow or you're a single parent. It offers those people an alternative that's stress-free and easy to achieve. For those of you that are familiar with my website, jugglingonrollerskates.com, you'll already be aware that we are massive fans of glamping, so much so that I have recently co-authored my own glamping guide in conjunction with International Glamping Business magazine, where you can find a number of family-friendly glamping reviews and recommendations. Which brings me to the end of my talk. Thank you so much for listening to my top 10 family camping tips. I really hope you enjoy the rest of the Outside and Active Digital Festival, and thank you for listening.
Well, I am delighted to say Zoe Holland is joining us now for a live Q&A. We have got quite a lot of questions about camping. Zoe, good evening. How are you?
Good evening. I'm really well, thank you. It's an absolute joy to be here.
Thank you so much for talking about camping with families. As you can imagine, this hit quite a lot of feels for people, and we've got lots of questions pouring in.
I know, I can see them all popping up. I will do my best to come up with some valuable answers. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go straight in with. So there's a lot of practical questions here. So the first question is, what is the best way to store non-perishable food left in the tent? Now, I went camping as a kid, and I always remember we always had to have a special area for the food. What are your tips for keeping food in a tent?
It's an important thing, obviously. The first thing I would do is check what provision your campsite is able to offer you in terms of fridges and freezers. Most big campsites actually have communal kitchens, and it takes the pressure off having to do that yourself in your tent. Personally, I'm still old school and I still use those ice boxes. But even if you're using those, you need the fridge or the freezer to chill your ice blocks to keep your food topped up daily. There are more high-tech ways of storing food. I know you can buy camping fridges that you can run through your car battery, and I would look into those if I were going on a longer kind of road trip, especially in a hotter country. But personally, most of our camping trips are in the UK for weekend breaks. So
just a cool box will suffice. So
a cool box suffices for now.
Well, we used to do camping a lot as a child when I was younger. We used to go to the south of France, and my dad had a cool box, which he still has, and that seemed to last the entire week. So, so cool box works. I get another question. So, which is probably quite, I don't know if you can give us any insight on it. So you're camping with your kids, and it's a rainy day. Any tips? Do you just get out there and just get in the thick of it anyway, or do you have any advice for parents who have young kids who need to be entertained?
I'm a great believer in that the right gear in the right weather can solve any rainy day situation, especially when you've got younger children. I think it's really worthwhile if you're away in the UK, especially for a long period of time, or even just a weekend, and there's that potential for those wet weather days. Invest in decent wellies, top to toe wet weather gear. Especially younger children are generally happy outdoors as long as they're warm and they're dry. Older children, again, make sure you're equipped for those wet weather days. And as an adult, make sure you've got the right gear. Personally, I prefer to get out and explore regardless of the weather, and it's never that as bad as it seems once you're outdoors. If you've got those kids that just refuse to leave the tent on a wet weather day, it's crucial to take games or puzzles, prepare for those events. We play Uno. Our children have got to an age where we can finally play games that the whole family enjoys. So Uno, card games, anything like that, and the children love it. It's quality time with mum and dad. As long as it doesn't rain every day, I think you're okay.
Yeah, so good kids and a pack of Uno cards. I mean, that really is
Uno can't go wrong. Yeah.
Uno has got me through a lot of holidays with my daughter, so that is an absolute top tip. So we've only got a couple more minutes. I just wanted to touch on your website. It's a great resource. You have a blog there which talks about family camping, but you're also using it to talk about other outdoor sports. What else have you got on your blog?
So I bought a stand-up paddleboard last year, which I absolutely love. I live in East Sussex, so we've got the local rivers, reservoirs, but we've also got the coast, so I can go down to Brighton or Eastbourne. And I'm actually I'm still lacking confidence on the sea, but I'm looking into getting coaching so that I can build up those skills. So I'm really looking at kind of expanding the focus of the website into strong female activities and sports, because I think as a mum and as a parent, it's so important to kind of make that time for yourself and invest in those hobbies. And the whole reason I got into writing the blog and adventure sports was because I spent most of my 20s snowboarding and traveling for that love of the mountains and adventure. So I'm kind of trying, now the children are a bit older, to reclaim some of that in ways that I can do on my doorstep.
Well, thank you so much for that. Can you just give a little reminder of the name of your website before we sign off? What's the name of it?
Yeah, it's jugglingonrollerskates.com.
Jugglingonrollerskates.com. Thank you so much, Zoe.
You're very welcome.
On camping, and thank you so much. And people can find you on your website. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Good night.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.